At the end of last episode, we talked about Jaden Hardy just being done with the team. He's down 3 overall. He stated that he is not coming back, that he will not even entertain an offer to resign. He does not like us as a fit for his future. And while that is definitely sad news for me, I wanted to keep Jaden Hardy for sure, but the reality is that that's just not going to happen. So we got to make the best of the situation. And if I'm going to trade a player like Jaden Hardy, who's one of my probably 3 favorite players on this team, we got to get a good deal. And the best deal that I could come up with here from the trade finder is this one with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, we technically wouldn't even be adding a first round pick with this trade, but the pick that we're getting, I think, has a potential to be a really good one. It's next year's Clippers unprotected first. Now, if you take a look here at the Clippers, if you'll remember, they lost both Paul George and Kawhi Leonard in last offseason. Now, they did replace them with Klay Thompson and DeMar DeRozan, but that's just not the same caliber of player. And so I think getting their unprotected first next year, especially, the 3 guys that are above 80, Zubac isn't going to get better, and Klay Thompson and DeRozan are both going to get worse next year. So this could be a very, very nice pick from the Clippers. We have to give up our unprotected 2028, so I guess the Thunder are just saying we've had plenty of picks, and we're just trying to push one down a couple years down the road. This is dangerous because obviously we're a really, really bad team, or we're talking about a pick that's 4 drafts in the future. I'm hoping that we can at least be, vying for the playoffs by then, if not like a solid playoff team. And so I think this will work. Now, Jordan Hawkins is an intriguing player, of course, was just picked in the latest draft in real life, this 2023 draft. He's already off, the Pelicans that picked him, and he's on a new team, but he still has potential. So I'm going to see if maybe we can't find a third team for Jordan Hawkins and see if we can't get another pick in this rather than Jordan Hawkins, because it feels like we wouldn't be able to use him. So getting a 2023 rookie and just leaving him on the bench for a year, a highly drafted one at that, just seems like a waste. And so this is what I found in the trade finder. I'm going to see if we can make this trade work even just a little bit better. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to accept this trade. So this trade has been agreed to in principle, but before we send it officially to the league, I am going to find a place that we can flip Jordan Hawkins, kind of like how it's done in real life. Now, I had to disable the recently traded player restriction for this to work out in the game, but it's going to work out kind of like it does so often in, multi-team trades at the deadline or during the offseason when a trade is announced by, Adrian Wojnarowski or something like that. But before the trade gets finalized in the league, more teams get added onto it, etc., etc. That's basically what we're doing. I wanted to do it this way rather than finding a 3-team trade, in the trade machine, just because that can be a lot of work to find a trade that all 3 teams agree to sometimes. Might need to manually do a 2-team trade here if nobody's willing to give us anything of value for Jordan Hawkins. I want more than a first-round pick 5 years down the line. It's basically... So we could flip him back to the Thunder. So we could just make this a bigger deal with the Thunder, where they give us Waters instead. We gave them a first and a second, and they gave us 2 firsts. I wonder if this is the Thunder's first-round pick or if it's another one from somebody else. It's our first-round pick back. So it would basically be Jaden Hardy and a second for a first and Lindy Waters. Interesting. So they'd give us our own first round pick back. I think by the time 2028 we'll be good, because theoretically we're adding a bunch of young talent that will be getting a lot better every year. So I don't know. I don't hate this trade. I think I'd be willing to do it, but I want to find one that's better. So I'm going to try to manually maybe come up with like actually, let's go back to the Thunder. Let's go back to the Thunder here. Let's see if we can make this work. All I want is a second rounder. Best with Celtics and Grizzlies. No. Oh, they have second rounders, but they're all terrible. I want an extra second rounder. Which one? I guess you go best with Celtics and Grizzlies. Here, all three of those teams project to be pretty good. I'm gonna maybe even get greedy and go with the Hawks as well. Will they accept giving us 2 more? No, they want a lot more. They want, okay, let's try this. No. They won't even give us an extra second. So the whole trade for Jaden Hardy would be getting unprotected Clippers first. I think that's a good enough first. So we'd give up, all in all, it would be Hardy at a second for Waters and an unprotected Clippers first next year. So we did end up making that trade a little bit better for us. I was kind of hoping this player could be like a mentor kind of player here. This is a trade that I'll accept, but I'm going to try just a little bit harder for a second to see if we can get one if I just manually concoct a trade that I like a little bit better. All right, I think I found a trade that if we could get this to work out, I would like a little bit more. And the reason why is I think we get another second in this draft. We're going to have a lot of holes to fill, and I'd like another pick in this draft. We get a Lakers pick in 29, which I think I might like a little bit more than our own pick in 2028. And then we get a point guard that can be a mentor to one of the 2 point guards that we will have on the roster. If the Lakers would accept this deal, I would take it over just amending our Thunder deal. And they don't like it, but it is close enough to have a counteroffer. Chucky Booker for Maxwell Lewis. This is extremely risky because we only have 3 bigs on the roster. So if, one of our centers goes down, we don't have a backup. It would be Joshua Shelton playing center, which is awful. But you know what else is awful? The team this year. I'm almost halfway through the season and we have 4 wins. I'm not as worried about the team this year. I'm worried about the future of this franchise. And so I'll do it if you add another second this year. We'll do Nuggets second. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we'll do this. And then they should offer the counteroffer of Chucky Booker for Maxwell Lewis. I'll do this trade with the Lakers. Okay, so we no longer have a starting point guard. The game put in Bruce Brown, which is interesting. I think if Livingston comes back and he continues to struggle, I would be fine with this. But I at least want to give some guys a chance, although I would also like to give Zaire Williams a chance to play some point guard. sorry to start. He's on a hot streak right now. I don't know. So I think for now we will have Fisher start at point guard, and then we're gonna give Livingston some minutes. We're gonna have these two split point guard minutes basically, and that's gonna be the new lineup for now. But Livingston will have a short lease. If he continues to be bad, then I think we'll put Zaire or Moody in to start, and we'll give some minutes to Duncan Robinson. But one thing this trade did allow us to do, another reason why I really liked it, is it allows us to get another mentor type player for a guy like Wilson Fisher once we find Ricky Rubio here. So yeah, I like this for sure. We can set up, I think, Dimer you want, relay passer as well, and then needle threader. I think those are three really good badges for us to have mentorship on. So got a mentor, got 2 firsts, and we gave up a couple of seconds. No, we gave up one of our own firsts. We got 2 firsts that are like better than the first that we had. And I'll probably find a graphic and I'll put it up here. Everything that was involved in what ended up being a 3-team trade, because I'm doing a terrible job explaining it. The point is, we took a sucky situation and one of my favorite players on the team not wanting to come back, and we turned it into what I think is a trade that's going to really help the future of this franchise. Here is now a look at the pick situation for this team. We've got 4 picks in this upcoming draft, including, 3 of them are second rounders. That's true, but at this point in the franchise, when we're still very new, second rounders are very, very valuable. We've lost a lot of our second rounders for the future, but I think that's fine. I think once we get, a team full of prospects that we like, second rounders are going to become a lot less interesting, but they're certainly going to be useful this next season with so many expiring contracts. We have a lot, and I'm going to try to bring a lot of them back, but in case we don't, we need those spots filled, and I'm going to try to do it in the draft. Only have that 1 first, but it's looking like it's going to be a very high one with how our team's doing this year. And now next year we have both ours and the Clippers. Next year could be a really, really big draft for the team, unless the Clippers go out and get a huge free agent this offseason, which would obviously be annoying, but they obviously have no incentivization not to, so they might. But they did just hand out 2 big free agent contracts this last year. And then a regular slate of picks after that, only our second in 2028, but then 3 firsts in 2029. Not opposed to flipping any of these, especially, betting on ourselves and flipping our own first, kind of like we did with the 2028 one, to move up in this class to get a second first for sure, I think would be a good idea. So, players wise, we're looking worse. We were already looking terrible and we're looking worse for this year, but I think the future got a whole lot brighter with the 2 trades that we made this year. And now it's time to get some gameplay in post Jaden Hardy trade. We got Wilson Fisher as our starting point guard, and today we faced the Pacers, who of course had the second pick and took center Darren Anthony with it. It was a real kind of debate for me between Lowry and Anthony at the number 1 pick, but ultimately Lowry being from Tennessee really made the difference for me, so he could be the hometown kid. And here we see Lowry getting 5 quick points to start this game off. Unfortunately, the Pacers are not starting Darren Anthony, even though he's a higher overall than Miles Turner. He's still getting a decent amount of minutes though, but hopefully at least by year 2, Darren Anthony will be starting. And it's not hurting Anthony's production that much, as I looked, and he is number 1 in the Rookie of the Year race, so Lowry definitely is motivated to have a good game against his fellow Rookie of the Year competitors. He has all 8 of our points in the first few minutes of this ball game. Fisher hands off to Stevens. Now back to Fisher. Wide open 3. Great look, but off the mark. Turner. Hands off to Halliburton. Getting to the rim. Nice pass to Turner. Fisher with some nice defense on Halliburton, but the pass was good. Shot clock winding down, and Lowry gets fouled on his jump shot. Maybe the bonus to his slightly lower release is he can get fouled sometimes. Don't know if I would take that pro over the cons that come with a lower release, but hey, helped us out in this situation. Lowry hit the first free throw. Now the second free throw is up and down. Pick and roll with Halliburton and Miles Turner once again. And again, it's an assist for Halliburton to the big man underneath. Lowry. That's a nice pick and roll of his own. The bounce pass was accurate. And then the reverse slam from Stevens. Beautiful play. Johnson now picking up the steal. Bruce Brown playing against technically his former team. Would the Pacers be considered his former team in this series as he picks up a foul there? He did sign the contract there, and of course, that's the contract he's been playing on with us, but he technically never played a game with the Pacers, just signed a contract with them. So kind of a pseudo former Pacer. Martin going inside, dishing to Miles Turner. Turns around. Nice defense by Stevens to force the miss. Pushing ahead now to Brown, who finds Jalen Johnson. Nice transition bucket for the Sound. Bruce Brown. Open space for a three. Knocks it home. You got a 17-9 lead. You're in the first. Halliburton off the mark from three. Seems like we have like some really solid first quarters oftentimes. I'm not going to say every time we have a spotlight game, but Bruce Brown gets blocked by Turner there. Seems like we have solid first quarters often. It's really the rest of the game that we tend to struggle. So hopefully we can keep the momentum going here as the Pacers put a lot of defense on that cutter play on Sidney Lowry, leaving Bruce Brown wide open. Now 20-9 after a couple of Bruce Brown threes. Brown with it now. You eventually get it inside to Wilson Fisher, his first basket as the starting point guard of this team. Turner to Matherin. Three-pointer is good. We left him far too much space on that attempt. Stevens in the post. Trying to get it over Turner. Looked a little indecisive on that one, and he ends up missing the shot. Matherin with it. That's a tough shot, but he hits it anyway. 14 now on the board for the Pacers. Baldwin finding his pick and roll with AC Stevens. Got ourselves a pair of free throws here. Off the mark on the first. Not been a very good free throw shooter in the spotlight games. As Stevens. But the second free throw drops. Nembhard, that one is tipped away by Baldwin in transition. Zaire Williams hits the shot. This time, this is not Nembhard, that is Killian Hayes, who gets himself a nice basket on the layup. Livingston, that's a tough three. Been a minute since we last seen him play. And if he can make plays like that, then he'll have that job for the rest of this season. But like I said at the beginning of the episode, his leash is short. He's going to have to be a productive player if he wants to keep up that playing time. Miles Turner, that's a nice big man move in the post, just out muscling AC Stevens, even with the double. Zaire off the dribble for three. Too strong on his shot. It's going to leave us one more shot here in the quarter. Hayes can't hit it. But Martin gets the offensive rebound. You can't be getting out rebounded by Martin down there. It's the first free throw. Indiana trying to make it a 5-point deficit after one, but that shot's off. So it will be a 6-point lead after one for the Nashville Sound. Got a little bit worse after the trade, but hasn't affected us yet so far. Halliburton gets the scoring started in the second with a nice 3. Livingston, pick and roll. Tries to find Baldwin, but just sails the pass. That's like his one thing. He can't be sailing passes. Halliburton to Hayes, who missed the 3. Top of the key. Livingston with it now. Tries to find Lowry, and he had another bad pass, man. That's Livingston's one thing. He can't pass. What is he doing for us? Forcing a miss there, I guess, or at least helping with the miss. Nice pullback from Lowry, but he can't hit the shot. There's Darren Anthony. Didn't play in the first, but here he is in the second quarter. As Obi Toppin gets the dunk underneath. Livingston, 3's no good. Lowry on the boards. Over Halliburton, the putback is up and in, and we've got a 3-point lead. Halliburton driving on Livingston and hits the shot. Just inside the free throw line. Lowry trying to find some room on Hayes, but just could not get past it. We've got to put up a tough shot by Baldwin. At the end of the shot clock. Indiana the other way. That one is stolen by Livingston. And Nashville running on the break. Giving it to Zaire, and he hits the shot. This guy is a very efficient transition player for us. I dare say our best transition player. And here he's going to get another opportunity, and he finishes it again. Off a sick block from Cedric Thorpe on a scoop layup attempt from Darren Anthony, which was a little odd. This time he's getting up, picking up the assist, though, as Halliburton hits the 3. Lowry, ooh, nice spin shot, and he missed again. He's showing some sick moves in the mid-range. He just hasn't been able to capitalize on that space here in the second. After what was a really solid first quarter from him. Trying to get him going again here. This time off the catch. That one was butter. Halliburton off the dribble, off the mark, from 3. Going the other way. Lowry hit a shot from there just last possession. He hits another. Fisher trying to create some space on the inside, but not doing a good job of it. He gets blocked. Halliburton off the screen from 3. This time he is good. Starting to hit a little bit better there from deep this second quarter, but what a pass by Lowry. Full court finds Stevens. He gets fouled by Darren Anthony. That's going to be the end of his first stint here of the game as Miles Turner returns. And AC Stevens misses another free throw. In transition off the miss, Tarian Prince takes advantage and hits the 3. Stevens to Fisher. We find a wide open Lowry from the corner. No good. Probably the best look he's going to get from deep this game. Martin, fouled on the drive, gets another pair of free throws. And he goes 2 for 2 on this trip. Stevens, maybe a little bit deeper in the mid-range than you'd like for that kind of shot. Indiana feeding Turner. And he just out-muscles Stevens again. Did it one time in the first, and now he's got to do it again here in the second. Lowry on the pull-up is good. Matherin. Shot clock winding down. The three-pointer is in for him. Thought Bruce Brown was playing solid defense there, but it did not matter. Lowry again on the pull-up. Again hits the shot, but he needs some help. It's up to 20 points here in the first half, but nobody else is aiding him in his scoring effort, really. Matherin draws the foul on the drive. Wilson Fisher act him on the way up. Indiana starting to separate a bit here in the back half of the second quarter. Williams off the dribble again from deep. That's not my favorite shot from him. I feel like he's actually hits a decent bit off the catch, but when he has to shoot off the dribble, bad things tend to happen here. Jalen Johnson wide open in the corner. Took us the whole shot clock to get there, but we did find a good shot in the end. Matherin. Aggressive move on Brown, and then he gets fouled from behind by AC Stevens. Matherin has been tearing us up a decent bit here, going for .14. And he hits it. That one almost picked off. I thought it was for a moment. Led to a weird looking layup attempt from Thorpe. But he made it. Martin hits the mid-ranger. Pick and roll. Nice feed by Lowry, and it's going to earn Thorpe a pair of free throws. Couple nice passes out of the pick and roll here for Lowry this half. But of course, we can't go 2 for 2 from the line. Halliburton missed on the three-point attempt after I just had a massive yawn. Jalen Johnson from the mid-range responds, and we've got one more shot here in the half. And it's a block by Thorpe on the Halliburton attempt. No thank you, sir, on that last attempt. We are down by 3. Still a very competitive game, of course, but not the best quarter for us. Miles Turner just has to, I guess, once a quarter, just out-muscle Stevens down low. But Stevens this time gets the better of Turner with the fadeaway putback. Short pick and roll. Halliburton pulls up. No good, and Stevens grabs the board. Stevens needs to put up something here with 1 second, and he hits that. He's very impressive on those, like, tough shots in that kind of short mid-range area. He hits those more often than I would expect him to, I'd say. Sidney Lowry, that's a tough 3, and he hits it. This game's back at 59 apiece, tied between these two ball clubs. Martin, though, responds instantly with a 3 of his own. Lowry trying to drive on Prince. Pulls up, and he's off the mark. Sad now runs the pick and roll. Wilson, Fisher, and Stevens, and the pass was on target for the assist. Turner. Wide open, Tarian Prince in the corner. But the Pacers cannot score. Lowry again feeding Stevens on the pick and roll. He's starting to heat up here. Kind of to end the second quarter here into now the second half. Now they're in. Tough shot, but we can't allow the offensive rebound on that, man. You know the shot's coming. Just get in position and box out. Johnson feeds Bruce Brown inside. Off the cut and hits the shot. Nashville back with the lead. But it's not going to last for long, as the alley-oop between Turner and Matherin is good. Stevens, the ball handler on this pick and roll, somehow going to lead to a foul, but not sure. I love the idea of Stevens handling on these pick and roll situations. Goes 1 for 2 because, of course, he does. Another cutter play and another opportunity for the Pacers to score on it. We need to be better on these cutter plays. It's not even like they're getting freed up off the picks or anything. We're just not guarding the cuts as well as we should. Nembhard, that's a tough shot. Where did that come from? We had this guy in NBA 2K23. He wasn't doing that. I'll just say that as Bruce Brown misses the mid-ranger. Matherin, way too much space for him, and when he's had space, he has made use of it in this game. Feed inside, Patrick Baldwin, he's off glass and good. Under 4 minutes now left in the third. Prince, open for 3. We're starting to let a lot of points come from the three-point line. Nice play there, though, to stop the cut. First time in a while it seems like we've done that, but my goodness. We cannot guard Benedict Mathurin. Nembhard, hand in his face, he hits the 3. That's not the Nembhard I know. Thorpe, terrible shot, but he got fouled. Miles Turner, what are you doing? He has like a 10% chance of making that shot. Don't even need to guard him, let alone foul him. Gonna bring in Darren Anthony for the Pacers. I like one. No, the percentage of free throw. Oh my gosh, he went 1 for 3. Oh, our free throw. I need to raise the free throws. I know Thorpe and Stevens aren't the best at it, but they shoot like less than 50%, and they're not that bad at free throws. And the Pacers are up to a 14-point lead. Off the dribble again. Don't love that shot from Zaire. Love what he does for us in transition and when he's being aggressive, and even off the catch from deep, but don't like the looks he's been hunting tonight. And that's going to be the end of the third. We really kind of in the last quarter and a half have been outplayed pretty heavily. Zaire, like I said, I like him more when he's attacking like that. I feel like he's a pretty good player in that part of the court. That's a nice blow by Sidney Lowry, getting to the cup. Back down to a 10-point game. In the post, top in. No good on the turnaround shot. Patrick Baldwin on the defense, and here's where Zaire Williams is at his best. In transition, the shot is good. Same spot, he just hit a shot not too much earlier in the game, but there he misses the 3 again. He has not been on his best from 3-point range. Foul there forced by Killian Hayes inside, so he gets a pair of free throws, and he hits them both. Remains a 10-point ball game. Livingston, pick and pop with Baldwin. He is no good. He hasn't had much effect on the game scoring this time around, but we know he's a very capable 3-point shooter at times. Just need to get him maybe some better looks. Lowry, doubled. Finds Thorpe inside. Good play from him. Recognizing the defense. Sidney... not Sidney. Darren Anthony finds Nembhard, who gets fouled and has a couple free throws himself now. He goes 2 for 2. Man, so fun seeing the other teams go 2 for 2 from the line. That is a nice pass inside to Stevens. He gets blocked once by Turner, but ends up getting the bucket and the free throw, and he actually hits it. So a 3-point play for him. Turner then once again in the post, just out-muscles Stevens, something he's been doing all game long. Fisher on the other end draws himself a pair of free throws. Can we go 2 for 2 for once? One of the few times we've had a non-center actually shooting free throws. And he does go 2 for 2. Turner, top of the key. Tries to feed Mathurin to his side. Bruce Brown was right there, but Mathurin finds the ball and gets the easy 2. Speaking of easy 2s, Wilson Fisher on the other end gets one of his own. That one's stripped by Stevens. Nice play. Leads to a Jalen Johnson 3, which he misses. Halfway now into the fourth. We haven't really done much to carve into this lead here as Prince in transition gets himself to the line. He goes 2 for 2 on that, and we're down a dozen with halfway in the fourth to come back, and Lowry hits another 3. He's been trying real hard to keep us in this ball game. We just haven't had very many good scoring performances here other than him. Turner is gonna miss the dunk. Jalen Johnson with some stellar defense there. Lowry, another point blank look from 3. Another clean look, I should say. Point blank is not what I meant. Missed it anyway, and an acrobatic finish from Tyrese Halliburton. Pacers now lead by 13. Stevens, another one of those kind of short mid-range shots that look really tough, but he makes them look easy. Turner, both Stevens and Brown covering him, did not matter there. Lowry feeding Stevens, and he's going to get himself to the line, although I'm not actually sure how good that is for us, other than, racking up fouls on the other team's centers. Hit the first. And he did hit the second. Let's go. Stevens went 2 for 2. But all throughout this game, we just could not get a run going. And ultimately, that 13-point deficit we came into the quarter with, I think I was actually maybe 14, but either way, that'd be the same deficit that we would end this game with. Did a decent job scoring there in the fourth, just could not get enough stops. As you could see, there were 7 Pacers in double figures in this game, and only one of them shot below 50%. Lowry, I thought, was very good in this game, shot above 50%, 28, 3, and 7. Stevens ended up with 25, but then a really big drop-off after that. Livingston and Baldwin were both pretty bad, and Jalen Johnson and Zaire Williams couldn't hit their threes. And again, another game where we looked really solid in the first quarter, but then just every quarter after that, we got outscored and outplayed. And now we sit here at the end of January, and we just had our first win on January 29th. And this is where we'll end the episode this time. And it was against the Brooklyn Nets. It took us until our very last game of the month to win our only game of the month. Of course, we could win against the Nets. I guess we'll just simulate that now. AC Stevens was injured. He can still play. And I think he's going to have to. I'd rather him play than have Joshua Shelton play. I think we're gonna give Thorpe as much time as we can give him, and then limit Stevens while he's injured here, and then we'll do that for the duration of his injury. But let's simulate now through this second Nets game, and we'll lose that. I actually did watch this Nets game off camera, and in this game, we made a change. You could see it when I changed the lineup just barely, but I've taken Livingston out of the lineup. He is just awful. He's shooting 33%, 16% from 3. He can pass. He has over a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. Probably the best passing guard on our team, but he's the worst at literally everything else that isn't passing, and so I just couldn't take it anymore. Bruce Brown is starting at point guard in his place, with Zaire Williams starting at the small forward. And then Duncan Robinson has come in to the rotation. And this was his first game, and he proved that he should have been playing all season long, because he went 100% from the field, 3 for 3 from 3. He was ready to join the fold, and he'll be playing for us for the rest of this season. I saw enough after just one game to kind of apologize to him for not playing him this year. I wanted to play the young guys, but I mean, we'd probably have a couple more wins if we just had a shooter like him coming off the bench this whole year. But Lowry ended up leading us in scoring on 13 shots. He did pretty well. He did turn over the ball 5 times. He kept trying to force feed the ball inside. Bruce Brown's first game as a point guard didn't pass the ball all that much, but he played some pretty good defense, and he scored really well. 17 points on 11 shots. AC Stevens, only 5 rebounds, but that's because Jalen Johnson was all over the boards this game. He got injured, I think, either in the end of the second or beginning of the third quarter of this game. Still ended up doing quite well, but he was much better before the injury. Hitting mid-range shots. I mean, AC Stevens has just been really good for us this year. Wilson Fisher was really good. He had 11 points on 6 shots, 9 assists, 3 rebounds, and 3 steals, just 1 turnover. I thought he played excellent. His best game so far. I don't know why, but the games that I watch off camera seem to be the best. We play well, but then when I try to show a game on camera, we flounder a bit. But much needed win brings us to a total of 5 through January. We have a chance to be the worst team in NBA history, and that's not something I exactly want to be known for. So hopefully this lineup change can help improve on that. I think it's going to be tough with AC Stevens injured, but hopefully once he comes back healthy, we can pick up the winning percentage. I'm not going to say that this lineup change is going to make us good all of a sudden or anything, but hopefully it can at least get us into the double digits of wins, because right now that's really iffy. We're at 5 and we're a little bit over halfway through the season. So that will be the end of this episode. We've got the trade deadline coming up soon, and not committed one way or another whether or not we'll be making any more moves. We've already made a couple this season. That episode will be coming out soon, and I will see you then.